Hey, this is Chris Comments. Welcome back. It's it's Wednesday, March 2nd. Up at the national level, President Biden gave his State of the Union address. It was great. He just stayed positive on everything. Talked about the triumph stuff, the stuff that we've accomplished, stuff that we're working on now, and stuff that we've got to get it done. I got my fingers crossed, despite the fact that there's a whole crap load of opposition from the right. There's a couple of people that are on the same side as we are, as the Democrats are, well, at least as Biden, and some of the plans that they've got going on. The usual Manchin and Sinema suck. Hebert, and Marjorie Green, they suck also. They were just bitching and complaining still. The after speech address was the after address speech or whatever, brought on by that Iowa lady from Iowa, the governor or representative of Iowa. All she did was complain. There was really nothing substantial, and I'm noticing that from the opposition. They keep bitching and complaining, and they're going off on these wild accusations and wild antics, and none of it is going back to what the president's doing, his speech, his intentions, and all that stuff. It's all just nothing but spit on this, spit on that, spit on this, spit on that, and that's it. And in my eyes, that's all the more reason for the opposition to lose. They're not coming up with anything constructive. They're not working with anybody. They're being forced to do bipartisanship, or having to negotiate bipartisanship, which is a tit for tat thing that they were incredibly against and claiming that nobody's doing during the time that Trump was around. So now we see the bigoted, two-faced bullcrap that's going on from the right and anybody else that's a part of the opposition. Now, that being said, it's obvious he's got a long way to go, and we're going to be seeing something take place, more or less for the better. The question is, because that's not the question. We're all ready for a change for the upside. The question is how far off better we're going to be. Now, the opposition has already made up their mind that it's never going to be anything, even with stacks of evidence and proof, documented proof that things are going for the better. 300,000 jobs. Lowering the unemployment rate, and the opposition says no, it's not true. So screw the opposition. I'm talking about what we're looking at right now, and what we're looking at is quite a few things. He wants to put everything that he said in the State of the Union address into effect. The healthcare and all this good stuff. Upgrade the minimum wage, the taxes, taxing the wealth. Especially the big corporations that aren't paying anything, And he got a lot of boos for that, which is good. Because I was smiling when he was saying that. I was enjoying it. And I love the side shots towards Elizabeth Warren, who was sitting there just smiling away also. I was like, hell yeah. Yeah. Love that woman. But here's the thing. How much of all of that is actually going to go into effect? Because it's a big thing to say. It's one thing to show how well we're going to be off, how well off we're going to be. It's another thing when the time comes to throw down and all he can do is settle for something of a break or something of a in a negotiation that makes us feel like, well, we really didn't win a damn thing, despite the fact that it might actually have a good turnout. Okay? how far we're actually going to take it is an entirely different subject. But, I'm not going to speculate anything just yet. Let's see. Now, how all of that affects you guys depends on who's running your state. Now, down here, we got a long ways to go. Because down here, the Lone Star State's being run by Governor Greg Abbott, who isn't doing anything except his own special needs. The proof is the wall. He's suing the government for $2 billion to put up the wall, whether he succeeded or not. Okay, if he didn't succeed, he's not working on the wall. If he did succeed, then we're looking at all this stuff that's supposed to be built for the wall that isn't either going to be built or is just an add-on to the wall that we already have, which those of us down here have already seen when Trump was around. It serves no purpose because the added wall just made it tip over all the easier. Everything that Trump built fell down within a year. And here's my governor, Greg Abbott, who's still pitching the sales for it. He wants all this cash brought in for it. He's not doing anything for anybody else. One of the reasons, and what I mean by that is one of the reasons he claims to be justifiable for his lawsuits was when those migrants that did pass through and did avoid getting captured would walk through fields and crops and ranches, and supposedly, according to Greg Abbott, was responsible for billions and millions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of damage to each and every ranch, to each and every crop field, to each and every open land territory, I guess to each and every golf club resort. I don't know. He said it's a bunch of damages everywhere, with the few that actually did cross the border and did not get caught and apprehended. Okay? Everybody is still complaining about suffering the repercussions of that. Okay? Trump hasn't been around in over a year. Those migrants have already stopped coming across, and all of the Haitians were prevented to cross also. So, where's the repairs? Where's the effort to take it? The answer, it's not happening, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Any one little project that he might be responsible for fixing will cost way too much, for one, and two, will just give him the incentive to bitch more about the government and Biden and anybody else that's in charge, and not do a damn thing. Okay? His claiming is that he wants the government to be responsible for it and all this other stuff, but yet at the same time he's suing for the money for the repairs, and at the same time he's not doing anything with the repairs, and claiming that the money that he's suing them for is going to the wall. It's all a bunch of dodging. You see it? Yeah, I know you see it. It's nothing but a bunch of dodging and an attempt to gain easy money, which is bitch and complain for it, and do absolutely nothing for that except pocket it. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. You guys can see this. You know this. As sure as we all know that crooked politicians exist. Right now, Abbott is the one that's doing it. Abbott is the guy that's the corrupt politician in Texas right now, and you could see it clear as day. So, now that he's declared the primary for the primary candidate for the Republicans, he now has to take on the primary candidate for the Democrats. This being March 2nd, March 1st was the voting day. I did early voting, and I got it out of the way. I knew Beto was the only one that was available. I knew he was the only one that was made for this position. And now he's got to take on Abbott, which so far right now it looks like Beto doesn't got a snowball's chance in hell. But if Beto was just to stay on top of what Abbott is doing, just expose Abbott on everything that he's doing, instead of just sticking to his "I'm a good candidate for this job" speech, if he was to actually bring up what Abbott is doing and what he's been doing and how he's been doing it to where everything has been mucked up to where it is now, Beto would win. Beto could win big by a landslide because of this. I'm just a rideshare driver. I don't got a degree. I don't have own land. I'm not a landlord. I don't hold any kind of position. I'm not a celebrity. I don't hold any kind of position in influencing everybody. But I'm still coming out voicing my opinion because I'm stating what you can see, I'm seeing. What you can detect, I can detect. I figured out what you all already know. The crookedness, the out in the open, to top it all off, crookedness that our current governor is performing. So does that mean Beto, since all politicians are evil, Beto is crooked too? I'm sure he is. But it's not through the accusations that the opposition is saying that he wants open border policy so that way we'll be put in danger and all this crap. No. Don't fall for any of that garbage. As sure as Beto is from El Paso, you know full well that he's not just going to open all the borders. He's going to let traffic go to and from because he can see where the money is in business with the traffic going to and from. He's going to let the trades reopen. He's going to work some kind of deal, and he's going to let that take place. Does that mean human trafficking is going to happen? Yes. As sure as it's happened this entire time that Trump closed the borders. As sure as it's happened throughout the entire time before before Trump even thought about taking office. Before we even knew what the hell an Abbott was, a Greg Abbott was. Abbott was a character name from Abbott and Costello in the cinematic features back when they were in black and white. Now all of a sudden this guy named Abbott, who's a governor, is just as much guilty of that human trafficking that everybody's speculating Beto is going to be bringing. And the proof is how Abbott, hey Abbott, is pulling the law enforcement, state troopers, border patrol off of the duties of that while caging and guarding and supervising the migrants that they captured. They were being used as guards. They were being used as name takers, data processors, so to say. That's a fancier way of saying name takers. They're being used as data processors when they should have been out in the street on the border trying to stop the traffic from taking place, which they were doing at the very beginning of this year, or January, at the very beginning of 2021. They were doing very good the first quarter year. There's video footages of them chasing a car where the car was slowing down and forcing the trafficked people to tuck and roll and jump out of the moving vehicle in order for the trafficker to escape. Okay, it went that ridiculous. There were guys being sardine laid out underneath a platform of a trailer It turns out the cops could actually see the platform underneath where they were laying out illegal immigrants like sardines underneath the platform of the trailer. It looked like, from anybody who wasn't paying attention, it looked like an ordinary truck pulling a trailer, driving through the highway. The law enforcement could spot it and see full well that it was not just some trailer. It was a trailer with a second platform underneath the top platform where migrants were laid out under there. Okay? Law enforcement during the first quarter year of 2021 was kicking ass. They were kicking butts, taking names. They were capturing criminals left and right. And the reason for that was because of Biden. When he came into office, he had all the migrants that were caged in detained areas pulled out and placed into holding facilities. They were pulled out of cages, put into holding facilities. They're put under the care of organizations that were supposed to look after them. And in the meantime, law enforcement, from local police to state troopers to Border Patrol, British Petroleum, Border Patrol, the BP, they were back on the beat, and they were apprehending thousands of traffickers who were leading thousands per person of migrants into the States. Okay? Biden created that, not Abbott. Abbott pulls them off the street and has them on guard duty. And that's a huge problem. Far worse, because that says that if they're not on the street stopping people from trafficking them, the traffickers will get through and will make money off of this. It's one of my personal beliefs that Abbott is taking a cut out of that. Hence the reason why law enforcement was placed on guard duty in solitary areas where traffickers could just stay out in the open and transport people. Abbott was most definitely taking a cut. But that's just my opinion. The facts, however, show full well the law enforcement out of every level was being put on guard duty along the border instead of capturing and apprehending criminals that were crossing, which what they were doing during the time that once Biden became president. They went back into working for a living. They went back to actually protecting us, law enforcement. It's a huge difference between the choice of how to run this state. It's a huge difference. Another one. Now, back to Beto. Will Beto be doing that? Probably. Yeah. He wants our law enforcement out here working. He doesn't want them on guard duty. He doesn't want them to capture an immigrant and then take a name and then put the immigrant in a cage. All while underneath their nose or behind the back or just around the corner, a trafficker is hauling 10 people into America. Okay? That's a very stupid way to go. And I seriously doubt that that's what Beto is going to be doing. Because that's what Greg Abbott is currently doing. And he sucks donkey balls for it. Greg Abbott technically is being frowned upon, and this is where I see opposition throwing the angst around. Greg Abbott, in his hometown, had a Texan visit from another city with a machine gun and shooting a bunch of Mexicans that came over for what they call Black Friday. They came over for the Black Friday deals. They were going to be spending a tons of money, which just goes straight to Texas economy. and then they were going to go right back across the border. That's what the shoppers do when they come here. And some doofus from Dallas showed up to El Paso with a machine gun and started shooting migrants that were visiting a particular Walmart, of all places. You know, we can't tell them. I mean, I don't understand that. We finally have some people that want Walmart crap, and this guy from Dallas is taking shots at them. You know, that was just wrong. But Beto now is on this mission to remove all combative styled weapons. There's a small problem with that. Opposition and concerned voices will make him change his mind as far as removing them all. He might throw some kind of restriction, like if you already bought it, you get to keep it. Or if as long as you register it fully with the background check and the psychiatric check, you get to keep it. That's his spiel there. That's going to be taking place. I can foresee that, and I think you can too. Really, to be totally honest. Beto is going to come with some hardships. Keeping our guns is going to be that one hardship that's going to be a huge uproar from the opposition. We're never going to hear the end of it. But I'll be honest, I got no problem with that. I got no problem with it because of the simple fact that the most doofus of crimes, the most disgusting crimes, are not going to be committed through him by way of authorization from him. The way they're being authorized by Greg Abbott, who shows completely what he's thinking in pulling law enforcement out of their jobs to work as guards and letting the illegal traffic come in. Which again, I think it's because Greg Abbott has a share. He's getting a cut out of all the profit of that. There's no real reason to do that. Not even in the name of hate. Not even in the name of convincing white Texans and even black Texans to kill Mexicans. That's the most idiotic way to do something like that. I don't think it's hate. I think it's greed. I think it's greed. I think it's money. I think that's the driving force to him. He's getting a cut. He's getting a cut from all of the underground cash and business that's going on. He's getting a cut. You got to believe me on this. I can't prove it, but I really don't think I have to after seeing all of this. Does that mean Beto's not getting a cut? I'm pretty sure he's not. He would have already been a Republican on the side of Greg Abbott if he was getting a cut. He's not getting a cut from the illegal trafficking that's going on. So what is his corruption? His corruption is probably pot, in my opinion. I think he still smokes pot from as far back in the punk rock days. And I think that's about as serious as it gets with him. However, I think it's possible that he's probably getting cuts through trade industry. Remember, he's in El Paso. El Paso, like Laredo, is great industrial trade. You know, it's not just migrants crossing to shop. That's just one of the icings on the cake. That's just stuff where businesses can make money and say, wow, Beto is a great leader for letting this happen. You know, I honestly believe Beto, seeing as how it's all about the money with politicians, Beto is getting a cut from Bosk. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's written on the side of the train's containers. You know, North Atlantic, um, any other form of train operation, they're giving him a cut. Um, truck companies, they're giving him a cut. And even gas and fuel, because Mexico has got just a little bit more oil and gas than the U.S. Not by much, but it does have plentiful enough to share. You know. So honestly, I believe that's really what's working to his favor. Is he taking cuts? Yeah, but it's through the industries, not necessarily through this babbling bullcrap, this trafficking and stuff. That's just obvious to me, and it's still just speculation, but nevertheless, you could see who's causing more leeway for the traffickers and smugglers and any illegal shipments. You can see who's causing more leeway for the illegal version of the trade, and that's Greg Abbott. You could see that. And you could see who's in opposition to Greg Abbott, as sure as they're all getting busted here in San Antonio. Fuckers. Excuse my language. As sure as they're all getting busted in San Antonio. That truck, I'm still busting up laughing from that time that truck got pulled over on the Far East side, and it's because the cop could see somebody waving at him from the back of the truck. He pulls over, says, "You got anything in the back of the truck?" The truck driver says, "No, senor." Well, let's find out. They open up the door, and out comes 200 Mexicans. 200 Mexicans just hopping out and running like a bunch of wild puppies, like a bunch of, happy puppies. And like something born out of East LA. It's just crazy. I'm still chuckling out of that situation, and it's just so obvious that, that we here, as far as north of San Antonio, or should I say Central Texas, is nowhere near letting this happen, no matter what Greg Abbott does in the state's capital, just 3 cities north of us. You got San Antonio, San Antonio, New Braunfels, San Marcos, and then Austin, the capital city. 3 cities over, we got a governor that's being a schmuck. 3 cities south of the governor, we got our mayor, Ron Nirenberg, and us San Antonians, SAPD, state troopers stationed here in San Antonio, Border Patrol stationed here in San Antonio. And we're just kicking ass, And now we have a Democratic primary that'll assist us. Because he's not working the underground, that's for damn sure. They're getting busted over there in El Paso. They're getting busted over in Houston. They're getting busted down here in San Antonio. They're not getting busted anywhere else, not anywhere north of us, where all of the Abbott support is. Now, can you imagine if Beto wins? I can imagine it. If Beto wins this coming election, he'll have a chance and an opportunity to bring down Biden or Harris or the one guy that's in charge of operation. I can't enunciate his name correctly. I'd have to get my spiral notebook. I wrote his name down. Balacaris or Belarakis. It's something Greek. You know, he's the one that's been in charge with getting all these organizations together to provide sanctuary for all of the migrants while they go through the process of signing in and pledging and vetting themselves and background checks and all this good stuff. So it's pretty it's a real big chance for something progressive to take place. And all of those just creates brand new jobs, you know. This whole biswax of sheltering and placing them in facilities while they wait for the next step, you know. That that you need a lot of people to make sure that happens, and none of those people are working right now. There's a lot of joblessness going on right now, and despite the fact that the unemployment level dropped and more jobs are hired. However, there could be more jobs available if we just stop taking law enforcement to use guard duty on caged people and have, all these migrants rescued, whether it be they crossed themselves or were trafficked in. Or if they were children tossed over the damn wall. I still can't get over that one. Guy put 2 kids. The guy climbed the wall. How he did this, I don't know. But he had a kid toss the kid over and gently drop the kid down onto the ground, and did it a second time with another kid. I think there was a total of 4 kids. It was insane. Law enforcement could have been there. Border Patrol could have been there for them. And they could have just taken it to an organization where people who are hired to take care of them take care of them. It's just that simple. Beto O'Rourke needs to be our new governor, because this douchebag that we've got right now isn't doing anything good. In fact, I'm positive. I can't prove it, but I'm almost positive he's taking a cut from the illegal immigration, illegal trafficking that's going on right now. He has to. It's the only thing that explains why he will pull law enforcement off of doing their job to be guards and in a caged area, in a lockdown facility. It's the only thing that explains it. Because, there's not even anything progressive about it through a racist level. Because it doesn't stop the migrants of other races from coming in. No, he's taking a cut. He's taking his cut from all the traffickers. He's got to make sure that the traffickers come in, collect their pay after sealing the deal, forking over a small percentage, and that small percentage out of each and every one of those traffickers goes right to Abbott. That's the only thing that makes sense. There's no way in hell you're going to convince me anything otherwise. But that's my spiel. State of the Union address was really good. I hope Biden gets to get everything accomplished, because the question isn't so much that he can't. It's how much and how far can these accomplishments actually go? That's the question. And I hope we find out sooner than later. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to close right here at the 35 mark. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. We'll see you next time. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.